Hey folks, how's it going? Hey Cobbler, good to see you dude. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. It's been a pretty good week for me. And to top it off, discussed with my boss yesterday that we don't actually have to work today or Monday, which is pretty cool. So I had a nice day of relaxing. Jumping in Twitch. Hey, welcome over to Twitch. Hope you're doing well. I'm indeed. So I spent most of the day just relaxing, so it's been nice. I thought, you know what, I've relaxed all day. I'm itching to kind of get going with a bit of Unity bug testing and stuff. It means if I get all the bugs fixed early, then we'll probably wrap the stream up a bit earlier than usual. But yeah, just want to make sure we get straight into it, get as much time as possible. So if I do go to my usual time, at least I've got a bit more time, and if I don't, I can actually have an earlier night, which is cool. I'll switch over to Unity, and I recall the bugs that I was dealing with last time, where it's mainly trying to get the events to fire at the same time, which to do that really is kind of recoding this so everything that needs to happen is an event call and not a Boolean check, which is what I've been doing. Yeah, I'll chill for a bit, then I'm off to bed. Just finished doing some concept for promo video for my job. Ooh, awesome. That's pretty cool. It's been a while since I've done any video work. I'm thinking of chopping up my Trine videos. Doing some stuff with that. Using Blender. Yeah, I'd like to... Once I'm a bit more confident with Blender, I wouldn't mind doing some video work with Blender as well. Maybe doing some animation and then splicing that with live action kind of video recording. Because we've been wanting to do that for a while. My friend who did my my transition for me, the stream, he's really good with animation. And we've been wanting to kind of mix Blender animation and live video work. And he's done a lot of promo stuff for his job as well. Because he worked for like a classic car restoration company for some time, and doing like renderings of classic car parts and stuff, because you don't typically find that. So be able to like render what their services are as a business and go, well, we can produce the following parts and just have flying graphics and stuff, and it's really cool, and they wouldn't have had that without him. But he was in marketing, so he was good at the marketing, and then he learned Blender and then was able to produce 3D graphics for their marketing as well. So it's a good skill to have. Something I want to look at. And we're both into 80s movies, action movies and stuff, and the amount of CGI and special effects you can have with action movies means Blender could be quite useful to use. So we're going to give that a go at some stage. Just finding the time. Just installed Unity, soon we'll start using it. Awesome. Yeah, I find that I've tried the other game engines and sort of I've not used them enough to really comment on them, but I found Unity so easy to find my way around, and so many tutorials out there for Unity. Yeah, it's really quite friendly once you get around knowing where the basics are, and there's not a lot to kind of get confused by, I found with Unity. So I hope you kind of you find your way around it, and if you have any questions, just feel free to kind of drop those in the Discord, and I'll definitely be able to help you. That's pretty cool stuff. Let's go into the code here. So I wanted to, I think last time I wanted to convert a few processes into events. I discovered generally this has to be a loop. There's no way around it. Did work on a bit of Unreal, just placing asset around the map. Sometimes design custom object, place it there. Historical items. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like the way that Unreal looks, like what it can produce. It yeah, I've not used it enough to kind of get a good flow in it yet. Would like to eventually. Like, it'd be nice to be able to have a few options as far as picking an engine that best suits what you're trying to achieve. We currently use Unity for our VR games. Nice. Don't worry about the caps. That's very cool. Yeah, Unity just seems to be a straightforward option for VR. Like, I'd love to produce VR games. Like, once I'm happy with producing basic 3D environment games, yeah, I would like to make at least one basic VR game, because I have a couple of VR headsets now, and I've done some VR streams in the past. I might try and do a VR stream this month, so I have the house to myself at the end of the month, so it gives me more room. There's not really much room in here to play VR, so I can use other space in the house to do some VR. So see how I feel. Last time I had space, I didn't get around to doing the VR streams, but we'll see how it goes this month. I thought it was hard, but I saw how it's done at my job with people I work with. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's everything feels hard until you actually kind of get a demonstration, I suppose. And I don't think it's going to be too hard to achieve a VR game. Now I know generally how to use Unity. But it's just using the extra tools. Just learning that, and I feel I could get it quite quickly. But we'll see. I'm just wondering, is there anything I can rework here? Any refactoring? Unity looks clean UI wise. Yes. I'm very happy the way Unity kind of works and looks. You've got hierarchy of objects on the side, you've got your properties on the right, your library down the bottom, working space in the center. It's very easy to lay out, and I don't find I need to kind of go through the menus very often. Like, I never use the game object in menu, because that I can right click here and get the same menu. Services, I've never had to touch the services. Sketchfab, I've installed the Sketchfab plugin in case I want any extras, but never really used that. Window, I don't need to change the layouts. Help, stuff in there that could be useful, never used them. Assets, again, never had to touch anything up there. And edit, so again, there's not really much in there, so I'm not having to search for stuff, it's just where I think it's going to be. What is this atrocity? I released a new album today, and yet I hear other people's music. How can this be? How's it going, Jeffrey? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, thank you for that code. Do appreciate you sending me that code for that. May put it on to listen later. I haven't quite got to listen to that, as you would expect. But yeah, I found Unity doesn't really hide stuff. It still gets some getting used to the methods, but I can only do it twice. That's fair. Yeah, I do appreciate that. How about to add a brown-yellow circle in the middle of the screen area to break up the color of it? Yeah, I need to really look at the texturing. Like, I want to do some shader work eventually, kind of give it a bit of character. Put something on the green to kind of make it look like grass and not just a green plane, which is what it is. Especially when you consider the bushes have low poly bushes and trees. There's character around, but this is literally just a flat green square, so it needs a bit of character to that. Yeah, sand, mud. Yeah, like it could do with having like a mud pathway that people have walked through, and items. I want to put items around, like maybe a bale of hay. So actually dress it up. A circle with gradient edge would do the job of thing. Yeah. Yeah, actually looking like sort of the ground has been worked. Because even like the hills, I go to the scene. Even the hills are literally just green spheres which I've stretched. So the levels, like this is not going to be a final level necessarily. It might be. I might rework it a bit. It's more of a concept, I suppose. But yeah, I need to kind of dress it because this is literally just a level, just these objects. So it certainly needs character. But that's all kind of cosmetic. And sort of, I'm leaving cosmetics towards the end. There's no point having a nice looking game if it doesn't work, which at the moment it doesn't. So especially under the device, looks like it's heavy and dug up the ground. Yeah, although the player, this is the player's view, you can't really see the ground underneath the device. It'd probably be interesting that if wherever the rock hits the ground, it will leave some kind of indication that it's hit there before. So maybe spawn a small kind of sort of muddy smudge or something where it's like bang, it's kind of hit. But again, that's kind of cosmetics, which it would be cool to add all the finishing touches to the functionality. I think, yeah, I'll look at those as once we know it functionally works. There's so many cool things we can add. But yeah, there's something about this play again doesn't work. So this is broken here, and so this here doesn't quite work. So I need to fix these. I have a good indicator to see where the ball went before the final hit. Yeah. And if I wanted to kind of save a bit of memory, you could have them fade away eventually, and sort of, you know, like you have in a lot of shooting games, you only have so many bullet hole decals, and the more you shoot, the more disappear. So I could have the last couple of hits just start fading away the more it makes. But that'd be interesting to learn, because it's a feature many games have, where it just kind of spawns a decal. Because I'm kind of doing it with the cracks, where it's not, the cracks aren't really spawning a decal as much as revealing them. There is a way you can leave marks without taking memory. Yeah, I might have to look into that. Yeah, because every additional visual you add to a game takes some memory. So if this entire area was left, there's a question. Yeah, is there a way? Like if for every object you spawn, so if it spawns like a mark on the ground, that will have to be on the left hand side. So for every mark, it'd be another listing on the left here. So you just end up with lots and lots of marks listed in this tree on the left. But yeah, I'd say like if you've got a shooting game and you're shooting the wall and you see like the bullet holes, this, if you think of it on the side here, if you have a maximum 10 bullet holes, it'll get to 10 bullet holes, and then it will remove the oldest of those bullet holes and then adds a new 10th bullet hole, and the player will see 10 bullet holes ago, that one will disappear when they shoot another one, and you could shoot around in a circle and you see it kind of being chased until you have to get the deleted after a few seconds. Yeah, so you either have a timeout, so they self-destruct, so to speak, that they will disappear by themselves, or they stay there until an extra one is produced and it'll delete the oldest one. Yeah, so it all depends how you want to do it. If you don't mind them being lingering, but you could have them, you could have a load on the screen, or you could combine the two methods. You can either have it so you have a maximum you're allowed until it starts deleting them, but at the same time there could be a timeout of 20 seconds. So you can keep shooting a wall with a gun, for instance, up to, I know, 30 bullet holes, and you only do the last 30, but then if you stop shooting 20 seconds later, you start noticing them disappear. I hate they have to sacrifice marks, but it's understandable. Yeah, like, you could have a load of things, but it all depends how much memory you want to use. And when you've got like a lot of things going on, you notice the game starts to slow down. So basically, the more things on this list on the left, the more memory you use, the more chance that you're going to slow the game down. Because I found that when I first started making this game, I tried to actually procedurally build the castle, like the building. I tried to procedurally build it out of individual blocks, and the game really struggled. It started going very slow, and whenever the rock hit it and the bricks started moving, it was stuttering and the frame rate was horrendous, because it was trying to work out where all of the bricks in the screen were doing, where they were going, what was colliding with what brick, and in the end I thought, okay, I'm just going to use a solid castle piece, and when you destroy it, just throw a few bricks down and say, okay, it's been destroyed. So it would be cool to actually have the whole thing collapse. Like if I hit it here, and then the whole thing would fall down because you've hit the bottom of it, you've hit the supporting structure, and you'd actually see it starting tilting and falling. That would be awesome. I think the cleaner way of doing that is you'd start with a solid object like these, and if you want it to be destructible, you then have to select a chunk of the mesh to dynamically remove, and then the mesh would basically fall off balance and fall over. But at the same time, when it falls over, you would want it to naturally break because of the... Yeah, there's a lot of kind of calculation. And I just, in the end, I just decided to go for hit X amount of squares on the building, make building shake, make it sink into the ground, hide with smoke, throw a load of bricks, remove the smoke. Oh look, the building's collapsed. And it's kind of like a cheat. And a lot of game design is cheating, because the player doesn't necessarily need to see everything that's going on. So it's very much presenting what the player would believe to be a castle falling down, but doing the minimum amount of memory usage to achieve that. So that's why games that are ultra realistic need high-end computers to achieve. I would like to try and make this work on the mobile. So it's finding that balance as well. But we'll see how it goes. If it comes to it when I want to make something a bit more complex, then I could do 2 versions at that point. I can have the simple version for mobile, and then the more fancier version for the PC. Okay. A notification on Mixit of bots saying TikTok doesn't do voice, text to voice anymore. Never used it. Have you considered the owner can attack you to damage or slow you down? Yes. You had the same? Did not care. Yeah. I keep getting notifications from TikTok on my phone going, hey, we saw that you went live once on TikTok. Could you do it again? Like, we would love to have you go live on TikTok again. And I get that like once every couple of weeks. And yet they try to say, well, you need to keep going live on TikTok, otherwise we'll take away the feature from you. You won't be able to use it. I went, okay, don't care, I won't go live. And then they go, no, actually, we won't take it away. Just please go live on TikTok. I was like, no. TikTok's kind of it's dead. It's a dead platform in some ways. Like if you want to get anything out of TikTok as a creator, it's a dead platform. For a user, there could be some fun stuff on there. For creators, it's not very fulfilling. Like Twitch is seemingly the best place to be a live creator, followed by YouTube. I'm feeling I could set this to be an event. So when Castle Y, then Castle Y is a local variable. So that needs to be found out here. Castle Final Y is also local. So this is only really happening within this feature, this function here. So to make this event, yeah, it becomes kind of pointless making this an event here. What's it? Final Y. Final Y is determined at the start. So when the game starts running, so at runtime, it determines what the castle's default location is. And the default location is where the current position of the castle is. Which is fair enough. It just records where is the castle when the game starts. Record it. And then we take the y-axis of the castle location and we minus the castle low value, which I've set to 8. So basically when it starts sinking into the ground, it needs to be at a y value of 8 before we determined it's sunk enough. Let's just kill it completely. And that's where final y's come in. So it's starting location minus its ending location, and then the difference between the two is where we want it to be. And then we've got Castle Y here is where it currently is within this loop. There's a really old game. It's a crate sorting retro game I was playing when I was really young. Trying to look for it in Google, but can't remember its name. Into a crate sorting retro game. Was it 3D, 2D? But I ended up using wooden crate. Interesting. Now I ended up having to use top view. Okay. 2D top view. The only thing that springs to mind, I'm not sure how old it is now, is it was something warehouse. That was a cool little indie game. That was like a warehouse. I want to say sort of like despots. Like how Pac-Man looks, yeah. Yeah, there was a was it Wilmots? Something Mots. I have that one. Yeah, Wilmot's warehouse sounds very similar to that. You just end up pushing stuff around. That's a cool kind of sorting game. But that's a I don't know how old that game is. When did Wilmot's Warehouse come out? Push me into the correct place. Wilmot's Warehouse came out in August 2019. But if you like that kind of game, and that's not the game itself, then found it. Awesome. I think did I stream Wilmot's Warehouse at some point? Can't recall. But that was a cool game. It was on Sega. Oh wow. Yeah, that is going back a bit. Ooh, let's have a look at that. Shove it. Love it. Okay. Oh, I wonder if oh, it's like a puzzle. You have to move stuff around and get around the shape of the oh, that's cool. Yes. I think another game similar to that is Baba Is You. I might have to get hold of this Shove It game. I love those kind of puzzle games. Yeah, if you like there's my stream. There's this. Hey Lisa, I saw the emotes. I saw the best emotes. Yeah, if you like warehouse, top-down 2D warehouse moving games, then yeah, Wilmot's Warehouse is pretty cool. I'm AFK watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Ooh, awesome. It's not really a puzzle game as much as a sorting game. Reading One Piece? Oh. If they have a part 2, they will add forklift. Nice, yeah. Yeah, like as far as the puzzle elements to Shove It, Baba Is You. It's very similar. It's a shoving object puzzle game. But yeah, both of those games must have been inspired by Shove It. I've never seen Shove It before. I'll certainly look into that. Don't think I finished Shove It. I've probably got a ROM of it. If it's on the Sega, I've got most of the Sega ROMs. So I'll probably have to load that up and play it. I actually bought a oh, I've forgotten the name of it, but I bought because I have a Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis 1, which I bought secondhand not too long ago. Because I have the second version, but my brother's got a hold of that at the moment. So I bought myself a second-hand Mark 1 version, and you can buy, like a few old consoles now. I bought a cartridge that has an SD card. I got a Mega Drive 2. Nice. Yeah, we had the Mega Drive 2, but yeah, my brother's got that. So I bought the Mega Drive 1 because apparently the audio chip on the Mark 1 is a better audio processor compared to the 2. So I thought, okay, I'll check it out. I'll buy the Mark 1 and bought a cartridge with an SD card slot, and it came preloaded with pretty much every single Mega Drive ROM. And you can add more, or you can do your own homebrew. So I wouldn't mind doing some homebrew Mega Drive games. But there are some indie devs out there that are still making Mega Drive games. And you just buy the ROM, and if you have one of those, you can load it. Good times, yeah. I had so much fun with the Mega Drive. First games console. We had it on a Christmas, as a joint Christmas present between myself and my brother. We had Sonic 2 come with it. Earthworm Jim, oh, that was a cool game. Yeah, I like the Earthworm Jim cartoons and the video game. Enjoyed playing that. Absolutely brutal game on the Mega Drive was the Lion King tie-in game. That only gave you three hit points. Oh yeah. Lion King was brutal. It took me ages just to get past the first level. And so we got as far as the Stampede level. And that was so bad as well. Yeah, I enjoyed the challenge, but I hated it at the same time. But I was determined that I'm not going to let this game beat me. I've since bought it again on GOG, so I can try and play it on PC. But yeah, that was bad. Like, I reckon they could probably remake that game a bit more forgiving. There's that Michael Jackson game. I never played that. I know of it though. There's so many tie-in games for the Mega Drive. There's sort of movie tie-ins and different TV. Yeah, so many kind of like sponsored stuff. Reset all squares. Now this certainly could be. resets at that point. I feel this, rather than doing it all one thing like this, because all the squares are actually now, if we go to, so I've reworked this now, so it should be easier to actually achieve. Yeah, so these grids here, yeah, so all these squares are in part of this, so I don't have to search for them. So I could have a function in this script that just kind of resets the squares, and all it has to do then is look for all the grids and run the function. So just finds the grid, run the function, finds the grid, runs the function. So I did that script. Bug Junkie, silly game time indeed. How's it going, MH? Good to see you. Hope you had a good week. Yeah, I started a little bit earlier today, so you've not missed much. I'm good, glad to hear. Yeah, I started a little bit earlier, but just been yapping mostly. We've not actually achieved anything in the, let's say, 30 minutes of actual stream. Got a new game called MIO. It's very fun. Oh, okay. Not come across that. What's that about? Generate hit squares. Reset hit squares. Okay, so I've already got the function there. So the function exists in here. All I have to do is really just call that and it's done. It's a Metrovania. It's about robots and stuff. Oh, that sounds fun. I like anything with robots. Big fan of robots. Square components, reset square. Yeah, so I could rework that. Very pretty game too. Ooh. Gonna do that quick Google. We've been looking at games. Many of mine have not actually done anything on my game because we've been looking at other games. So we're looking at sort of games, 2D top-down games where you push stuff around. So an old game on the Mega Drive called Shove It we've discovered, and I think that spawned a game called Baba Is You and Wilmot's Warehouse. Very similar mechanics. $20 US though, so it's not the cheapest game. Yeah, like $20 US for an indie game is kind of the upper end, typically. Like if it's a AAA game, huge game, then that's not a bad price these days. But for smaller games, it's definitely no more than $20. What was it called again? MIO. Let's have a look at MIO. I think the screen is busy with buttons. Maybe you can remove the bottom buttons, keep the space, but display the controls guide. Start the game instead. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be quite useful to actually have a memories in orbit. Yes, I see that now. Have a quick look at that. Thank you. I was going to ask you, I found MIO, but memories in orbit? Yeah, it could do have having like a control, especially if you have a controller. You don't know what buttons are on the controller, so I need to do one of those screens that say, here's your keyboard controls, here's your controller controls, and then I got it so it hides the controls if you use a controller, or as soon as you touch the keyboard, it then hides the on-screen controls, because it's mainly there for mainly there to kind of show you what it is before it starts. But yeah, I need to do like especially if somebody wants to remap the controls, I need to kind of work on a system to remap controls. Yeah, but you can keep those keys in the bottom instead of the wooden button that says launch. Launch left and right. Yeah, so these buttons down here, if I run the game. So if you play this on mobile, so I'm going to reload it. Just wait for it to reload something I've not even changed. But yeah, if you're playing this on mobile, you obviously can't press A, space and D. So on a mobile phone, you can tap left to launch and right to play the game. But I've not worked out how you would play it without the on-screen controls. So yeah, we're pretending it's a mobile phone, you would click these buttons. So you can use it with a mouse, you basically just play it with a mouse. But as soon as you touch the keyboard, they disappear. Because you don't need it, like you're playing with a keyboard now. Or if you hit the show controls button again, it comes back. Rotation steps, I have not actually, no, it's still, if you look at the trees, it's still a bit janky. It looks smoother, maybe because the level 3, it's for each level the distance to the objects gets further and further. Because it's far, yeah. If I open up level 1, it's closer to the objects, so it kind of see it moving quicker. But yeah, I still need to work on the smoothness of it. But yeah, the on-screen controls, like, what I probably should do is determine what controls the player wants to use. Like if it's on mobile, detect it's on mobile and show the on-screen controls. If it's on PC, then you have the option of plugging a controller in or using your keyboard. But then if you want to use the mouse, probably switch on the controls to go, I would like mouse controls, tick a box, and then these controls will then show for mouse. Because I could just play it with one hand. I don't need to use, well, I can play with one hand on the keyboard. So it is very much a one-handed game. But unless you're playing on a controller, then it becomes a two-handed game. But that's a remap of the controls. Because it could be A, B, and X on the Xbox controller as like left, right, and launch. So just using the one thumb. But I've actually got it with the thumbstick as left and right because that's the default. This MIO game looks very cool graphics, like very painted. The whole thing looks like a soft, almost like watercolor painting. Yeah, it's £16.99 in English money. Yeah, I'll stick it on the wish list. Yeah, if I see a deal for it, I'll be definitely interested in that. Yeah, let's while it's on my mind, let's rework this little function here. So I'm going to comment this out because there's nothing wrong with it, but it can be better. So we'll grab that. Well, we'll grab these little pieces in turn because they're useful. So it is a grid. So we're looking for things tagged as grid. Let's double check that for certain. Yeah, grid. So we're looking for objects marked grid. In level 3, there's going to be 3 of them. In level 1 and 2, there's only 2 of them. So for each, so let's go for each, rather than square, let's go grid. And, or grids, I suppose, call them grids. So grids, so for each grid in grids, so hit grid HG equals grid.getComponents hit grid HG.reset hit squares. Yes, okay, the AI has come through for us. Awesome. So it's practically the same code, but this one's looping through all of the squares, whereas this is looping through all the grids, and then the grid themselves loop through the squares. It's doing the same kind of thing, but it's offloading it to this code instead. So it's practically the same thing, but it means it's not having to deal with them individually here. And I could technically just call grid.getComponent hit grid dot reset hit squares in one go, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. So pop building. I feel this is a little bit awkward the way I've written this. So we've got the rubble spawner included in this. So right now I'm in that phase of not knowing what exactly I still need to do or where to go, but it's fun exploring. Okay, yeah, I like a game that makes the experience of discovery interesting. Like if it gets to the point where you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, and you're just frustrated because you're just kind of staring blankly at it, you go, well, so what do I do? I'm stuck, and you're having to Google it. Whereas if you don't mind searching, looking around, finding interesting things, then this falling upon your next direction or next quest, that becomes quite interesting. Have you used Agent on Unity? I don't know what it's called, but it's an AI thing. Don't think I have. Yeah, what the only AI I've got connected at the moment over here. Don't want to do anything. Don't do anything with it, but maybe you are. No, there's nothing I'm up to on Monday. Nice. It's possible to switch to another AI. Maybe. Like, I've not really looked into plugins for Visual Studios. Like, this is kind of out the box as it comes. But you could probably plug in extra stuff. But yeah, Copilot comes boxed with Visual Studio, as it's a Microsoft AI on the Microsoft product. But you could switch it off. I could actually turn Copilot off and it will just go, okay, we won't suggest anything. Use one of the color things for Visual Studio. Ooh, okay. They kind of highlight things easier for you to see. I tried anti-gravity. It's crazy. What does that do? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Today is also a religious holiday here. Yes. Yeah, so today is Good Friday. And then Sunday's Easter Sunday. And then Monday's Easter Monday. But I don't observe anything special. I just have the time off work. I usually work at night, so have a mellow colour scheme. Ah, nice. Yeah, I just went for default dark theme on Visual Studio. Because, again, I don't understand any coders and programmers that don't use dark theme, because you're looking at the screen and reading text. Why wouldn't you want the majority of your screen to be black? The only thing that interests me is the text content. Why would you want all this light coming at your eyes? And certainly most coders tend to work late. Like, I find them very active on a Friday night compared to like work time during the day. It's an agent-first coding tool, an IDE developed by Google. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Instead of just auto-completing your code like Copilot, it uses AI agents that can actually plan, write, and test entire features on their own while you watch. Oh, that sounds cool, but it's scary at the same time. Like, AI testing would be quite useful, though. I've heard some horror stories with automated AI coding where it absolutely destroys people's work. And they just say, okay, can you do this for me? And it ends up stripping out the good bits. And go, why doesn't this work anymore? Goes, oh, okay, I'll put it back. You know, I didn't ask you to remove it in the first place. Yeah, I don't mind the suggested stuff. Like Copilot will pop up with like a grey thing to say, we're suggesting this, and I can go tab to accept it or ignore it. I made a tool of it to use with my Zoom H6 recorder to organise and pull audio files. Nice. Yeah, this microphone here is a H2N recorder, because I originally bought it for recording stuff out in the out and about. I thought, you know what, it would work as a good streaming mic. But this is a 4. It's a surround sound microphone. It's got four crossover microphones. But I've told you I want the cone just to be pointing at my face. That's pretty cool though, to actually that tools to help you organize would never be out of fashion, I think. Yeah, nice mic. Yeah, I like it. I've got 2 of them because I used to do a lot of stage production. And if you want to record actors on stage, I did have a single mic center stage. And that was great until you realized people in the corners of the stage would be quieter than people in the center. And secondly, people in the center stage on performances, if you're center stage, you tend to be the focus of the performance, and you tend to be louder, and you tend to be, hey, look at me, I'm the character the audience needs to be looking at right now. So if you want the microphone to pick up all the actors, the sound level is horrendous to try and manage. So I ended up buying 2 of these H2Ns put them in the two corners of the stage, pointing at an angle. Had all the microphones working, which means I can get the audience reaction on the reverse microphones, the stage sound on the front microphones, split all the channels, and then level out how much of the audience laughing and reacting versus the clear audio from the stage, and then kind of you mix the left and the right together into a single stereo. And yeah, that worked out brilliantly. Using Sennheiser Mark IV in my office, but I usually use Shure SM7B at home. Ooh, the Shures are supposed to be good, and Sennheisers. Now, the only Sennheiser thing I have is my DJ headphones. They're crystal clear. Never used a Shure mic, but I know plenty of musicians that do. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the zooms. So they are supposed to be recorders, but because they plug in and act as a USB microphone, it does the job. SM7B, they can be really nice with preamps. Oh. Yeah, same thing I've found. You have a decent microphone, it typically needs to have the preamp to get the gain on there without too much distortion. But it's worth it, I suppose, to kind of have that equipment chain. Whereas I suppose technically being a USB microphone, this Zoom microphone has the preamp built into it. As there are no more passive mics, you do need that in there. Especially if you want to really get the gain on it. Yeah, I got a cheap pin preamp, that does the job. Nice. Yeah, if I was into a lot more audio recording, I'll definitely look into preamps. Like, so it was something we considered for again, with the stage production, some of the actors were quite quiet. And typically, if you're a stage actor, in tradition, you're supposed to have a voice that is loud enough that people, the furthest reaches of the room, can hear you talking on stage. You need to have like a strong, booming voice that will carry. And not all actors have that, especially if you're in the amateur scene. It's a hard thing to get into your head around, because you might have a fellow actor to the right of you and you're supposed to be having a conversation with this actor, but you're not having a conversation with the actor. You're saying your lines from a character that is having a conversation with another character. You're not actually talking to the person stood next to you. So it takes a little bit for people to get their head around. So we thought, okay, can we amp up the microphones and actually pick up this volume? And again, that was a whole different kettle of fish. Yo, how's it going, official Ugg? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Doing all good here. Can I send some pic of my current office, but not sure which channel? Ooh. Next, I don't really have a pictures channel, do I? Ooh, where would it go? Good question. I suppose random stuff. I suppose the maybe the festivals or conventions. That's kind of like an image. anything I've been to, I've taken photos of. I'll put into festivals and conventions. Just got, hey, here's a picture. I think you should have access to that. Compose there? Awesome. Maybe creating one called Show Off. Show Off, yeah? Make a Show Off channel. Can't post that. Okay. Let's make a Show Off. Okay, it's now a show off channel there. I don't think there's any restrictions. Permissions. Send messages. Let's do that for now. I'll work out the permissions later. Oh yeah, that's a nice microphone. Oh, I like your mixer as well. I think that's not far off the mixer we use for the stage production stuff. So yeah, we have some stuff going into that. Oh, yeah, got some pretty cool stuff there. I like that. How's progress on the game? We're kind of bug squashing at the moment. We're looking at different bugs. Like, the main thing I'm trying to do is convert as many of these processes to events. A lot of this is kind of based on the fixed update loop and then checking things on every loop. I know that's going to be resource intensive, and you can't guarantee when these functions will be called, because it's just whenever that loop catches it. But I think there's not really much I can do with this one. So we gotta hit save, didn't I? Yes. So what I'm gonna do is do a quick test to see what immediately jumps out. I know there's some problems with different play buttons, so we'll run the game. And see what we get. Okay, so let's cheat. Got this little tick box on here. I can cheat and declare they are broken. Ah, so this hit square is not populated. So it's not going to reset. I'm going to have a look at what's going on with that. Okay, so that does... you can't call the checkbox nuke. I could call it nuke. Just nuke it, bang. Yeah, because I'm the only person who's going to see that value anyway. There's one of those things as a coder, you just put different variable names that only you will see. And then you end up handing over your code library to someone else and go, why did it say nuke? But hit play again. So that comes up okay. Okay. Right, so it resets the castle, okay. Haha, okay, right. So. Final blow. So what it needs to do is, when I hit play again, it is resetting these, which is fine. But upon hitting this, it then fires off the event. I think it is the game values, possibly. Yeah, so it needs to reset this value. When you hit play again, it needs to, no, this one. It needs to reset this value here to 0. That's what's not happening. Point should reset to, yeah. So this count will be the same because it's not going to gain squares, but this 334, somehow it's counted an extra 4. So that needs to reset. So game values, that needs to reset there. Let's stop the game running. So GV. Gotta remove that because is it going to be an if code situation? Oh yeah, point should be reset for code situation. I found a boss. Nice. Hit squares. Hit squares. That's a hit squares. So. Yeah, so it's going to be probably need an event that kind of fires off to say, right, if you hit play again, the following events have to fire. So reset, so set hit squares, so set hit. See that's my, yeah, so that's what sets them all off. So if, yeah, so that's my, this is my little kind of cheek tick box, my nuke button. Trying to act like I know coding, but I remember if reset equals 0, not even close. Yeah, that certainly works though. Yeah, it's like this, for instance, like if hit square set, and it assumes equals true. So a boolean, a yes no. If you go if that, it's basically saying if this equals true or if this equals 1. Then you'll go, okay, then set it to false. So if that's true, set to false and then run that. If it's a boolean, yeah. If that's a boolean, it automatically assumes you're trying to see if that's a true value. So that's what's happening when I tick the nuke button. It goes, well, have I ticked the nuke button? Yes, okay, untick the nuke button. And then set all the squares to be hit. So it loops around all the squares, sets them as hit. And then resetting the squares, like when I hit play again, that then runs this and does basically the reset square code instead of the hit. So that's all fine there. This one generates the squares. So I think this is okay. Oh yeah, so it's adding it there. So every time it generates a new square, it adds it to the list. I don't know why it's not showing on the properties window for me, but that's working. We're fine with that. I can close that. And that's now kind of outsourced. That's no longer needed there. So play again. So this is working in its certain capacity. So this should be an event really. At the moment it's a boolean. And a lot of this, when I first wrote it, I basically did the if reset equals 0 scenario. And that's kind of what this is like, if game values.playAgain is true, then run the playing again function and show the building. Now playing again just sets that to false. So play again is false. So all I've done there is that if this is true, set false. And then show the building. But what it's not doing is doing all the other things that come with resetting the game. Where are the game values? Let's go back to this. Oh, they're over there. So on the naval, so on complete, add this now. On level complete. Okay, so that's the event. So what I could do with having is a play again event, and when it play again event fires, then it will do the things like show the building, reset the squares. Well, the squares reset anyway. Although I could put it on the play again. Yeah, it basically sets everything back up again. So the smoke turns itself off. The colliders might need to be switched back on. I'll have to check that. And that's just plays and audio. So I could do with making a make an event here. Be right back, dog walk time. Okie dokie. We'll see you shortly. Let's make an event here anyway. So we'll start by doing so on level change. We don't need an event for level change. So on play again, and we can attach some listeners then. Alrighty, I'm off from my PC heading to bed. I might watch from there and look. Okie dokie, Cobbler. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you have a good rest. It's always good to see you, and I'll see you next time. We're back on Monday playing Trine. Yes, be right back, okie dokie. Enjoy your dog walk. See ya. See you indeed. So, we have a play again event. So, on level complete. And yeah, so when you hit the square, it checks if level complete is true. Which level complete is basically if there's more or equal squares hit than the actual counter squares, then we finished the level, which is why it instantly went back through again. So this value here needs to be reset. So I could literally just make a function. So we've got that reset hints used on level, hints used, playing again. Do we have one for hits? So add square hits. We could probably do a. Let's make a little one here. Public. Get square count. No, we're not going to need that. Public void. Reset square count. Do we need, let's add to square count. Get hints text. Yeah, I'll have a reset square count in there. Might not use it. There you go, reset squares here. So this needs to be added to the play again. So it is on play again. So I could probably make this its own little function. Gotta go, oh GG, I beat the boss. Nice. Very easy. Awesome. Hey, the GG might pop up. GG indeed. Cool. So is it a fun boss? Did you find it fun to actually fight? Okay, it's one of those boss fights a player has a certain expectation of. It needs to be a challenge, but you need to feel like, yes, I beat the boss, rather than, I just dodge rolled a couple of times, punched them, and I was on to the next one. Didn't really give me a challenge. Now that the combat has really set in my mind, I'm loving the fights. Nice. Yeah, it's one of the hardest things I found trying to work out is how you get that fun element. Fun is always the hardest thing to make in the game. You can learn the engine, you can learn the code, but making something fun. There we go, that's what I was after. The co-pilot does come through eventually. So what I want to do is grab Castle Wings SFX. So it's basically all of this section here, isn't it? Smoke holders, SFX, Castle Wings. Throw that all into there. Okay, so that looks nice now. So on enable, reset all the values. And then set the events. So we then want to call that. Oh yeah, we're calling that. So we need to call the on play again. So we need to invoke that. What I could do is having a just a little function here, public one. Void Reset game values? Is that basically just copied? Yeah, it's put it on there. Oh, found a bug! Oh. Miss time, reset timer, play again, do not hide, use the cancel collapsing. Good. Yes, okay. What's the bug? If you stand on top of some of the elevators when they arise, you clip with them. Oh. We found a bug when we were playing Trine 3, where I was just able to jump out of the level. Like, no real glitching, nothing else, just they just forgot to put a collider in, I'm guessing. I just jumped out the wall and went, oh, I'm now in the abyss. And the level itself broke multiple times. So it was just a bug level. Don't try that in real life though. You can't clip through things like that. Oh no. Might look like it, but you can only do it once and you never come back from it. Just for cleaning up's sake, let's move this to the top here. So we're calling them in the order that they're set underneath here. So we can read that easily. So we're resetting game values. Time, minute, time, second. So actually I could do recalling this, couldn't I? Castle collapsing is false. Hints used. Basically that has everything. Yeah, the count, the thing, I don't want to reset the count. No, that's the only thing. That's basically what I want to do though. So this way you have to decide what process handles what and try and make that process only handle that, and only that process handles it. Well, there's some gamers out there which will, when they have a game, they basically just test all clipping and out of bounds things. You know, oh, can I find a way to get out of this particular part of the level? And those people are very good game testers. You give them a game and go, okay, try and break this level. Try and get out of it. Because my best mate worked for Codemasters for a few months. And he was testing one of their rally games. I think it was like a Colin McRae rally game. And his job for a few days was try and get the car out of the race area. And just try and find if there's any way that the car can leave the track. No, I don't think he found anything. He did find one or two other bugs, but didn't find anywhere the car could escape. But yeah, people that instinctively look for stuff like, yeah, say that speedrunners will find any shortcut they can. Go, oh, if we jump on here, like try and push between this object and this object, it kind of glitches and sends the player through, or gives them like a physics crash out, and it just makes the player fly up in the air and sends them over all the obstacles. Then the speedrunning community, I know it becomes awkward for the developers then, because if they spot a speedrunner has found an exploit glitch, and it doesn't affect the general gameplay for most people. Is that, well, do you patch it because it's a glitch, or do you leave it because the speedrunners will enjoy using that glitch? Like leaving bits of skips I found in games for speedrunners. Nothing game breaking, just fun little secrets. Oh, cool. Yeah, we find so, like, I know in like Mario Kart, there's lots of kind of shortcuts to Mario Kart, which most of them have been put in there by purpose, like secret shortcuts. Others which are full on kind of not supposed to be used, but they found ways to trigger events without actually going the full track. I've seen like some so ways of bouncing your cart off things to get it to leave the track and jump certain parts. And it's crazy that people found this. They just got throwing their carts in different directions and go, oh, I reckon if I keep trying this angle, I can get to kind of get me to throw me back on the track and miss a certain event, but also trigger this event, and it thinks I've completed a full lap. So, wow, how do these people find this? But then if they're a speedrunner, they go, well, is there any way I can exploit this? Yo, I'm so late, got carried away with Minecraft and lost track of time. That's all good, boss. Good to see you. There's a glitch I found in MKW that can shoot you super high. It's not useful because it requires uncontrollable things to be right place at the right time, but it's fun. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like kind of fun glitches where it's like, this is cool just to play around with. Like, I like games that have things in it which have no benefits, but you just enjoy doing them. I've said before in like the Legend of Zelda games, you can just chop grass. And sometimes you get a rupee out of it, but every Legend of Zelda game with grass, I just chop the grass. Just because I can. There's no real benefit otherwise. 10 minutes, seconds. Yeah, let's look at firing off the events. Oh yeah, Copilot distracts me. So a public void. Play again. If you're looking at a void time. What are we working on right now? I'm working on turning the play again button into an event. Let's call it button. It differentiates it from the Boolean, which I want to get rid of the Boolean. Play again button pressed, invoking play again event. There you go, thank you for doing that one, Copilot. Yeah, because at the moment the play again button on the UI sets a Boolean. And what it really should be doing is invoking an event. And that event then does the following set of things. And that way I can guarantee all the events I expect to happen will happen, because that's basically what isn't happening right now. And I feel doing it properly will fix those bugs. So we need to go to the UI. Where's my UI? Canvas. Controls. All these buttons, where is it? End level UI, there we go. Play again button. So that runs the UI controls play again function. So UI controls, do I have that open? I do not. UI controls. Excellent, we have the game value. Release button, return to menu, show options, show projectiles, show place, show hints, play again. So set play again. So rather than setting this value, it should really game values dot play again button. So that actually calls that instead. So we can close that. So what it was doing is it was setting this value. If I make that private, I'll get errors of what's actually expecting that one, and I can have a bit more control. Because effectively I'm replacing this boolean with this event. So if I make that a private boolean, it's going to give me errors if I try to call it outside of this function. Here we go. Game values play again isn't accessible to its production level. There we go. So this bit here, so show building. So all this was doing was checking that boolean, resetting the boolean, and then showing the building. The show building is just at the bottom here. Show building then sets the timer start. So play again should really just set that straight away. And we'll skip that part of it. The show building. So set timer start. So we'll add that to the play again. There you go. We actually want the counts, did we? Why do you handle play again like this, not just by starting the level like it's the first time? I suppose I could reload the scene. And just kind of like reload it all. That'd be one way of doing it, I suppose. I was thinking rather than reloading the entire scene, it's just a couple of values. But it depends what's going to be more efficient, to load this whole scene or just changing the values. Because it would guarantee everything will start again from scratch. Is this a good point? It would be guaranteed to be fresh as well. Although playing again, doing it like this, is there an advantage? I don't think there's an advantage. It's true. I could just reload the scene. Yeah, we'll look at reloading the scene. I'll put that in there anyway. Let's have a look at yeah, because I was thinking I was saving some resources by not having to load it again, but at least it'd be fresh then, wouldn't it? And you guarantee it's going to be set. Yeah. We'll see how that works. Yeah, that's because you guarantee everything should be set at the beginning of the level. So that means then we will never have that if we're reloading the level. Castle's collapsing. It should reset all of these values when it starts up as well, because it'd be the same as switching to a new level. Let's do that. So that's going to be because doing this way you reset the position of stuff like crates and barrels. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because I don't have any crate and barrels, and yeah, doing it with the events, the crates and the barrels will already be knocked over and won't actually be reset. Doing it this way, it just resets the building. So in that case, if the barrels were impeding you, then you can start without the barrels, but then the whole point is to be able to retry the level quicker. And if the objects in the way are part of the time it takes you. Yeah, let's just reload it. You've got a very good point there, but I think I was overcomplicating it. It's good to kind of learn how to do it this way, because it could be useful if I need to reset something else. But considering it's just playing the level again, it makes sense just to reload it. Especially when levels have dynamic objects, yes. So I'll comment these out. I'll leave the code in there for now, but I'll comment those out. And so where's the next? Let's open up these again. So the next level button, where's that? Show hints, play again. Next level, what function does that run? Because you basically want this to run, but rather than choosing the next level, it just plays the same one again. So this is in level end UI. So level end UI, which would make sense, to be honest. Rather than having it in the controls, I don't know why I put it in the controls. Level end. So we've got play again button, show UI, hide UI, play next level, play again. Yes, I've already got the code for this here. Current scene manager, reloads it basically. So I've already got the code for that. I don't know why I moved away from it. We'll point the button to here, and it should reload it then. So that becomes the, what was it again? It was the end level UI. Why is it not coming in? End level UI. Okay, yeah, so cancel. End level UI, drag that into there. There's some cases where you need to have such system to reload the level, but I can't think of any right now. Yeah, I was probably thinking of something at the time, but it doesn't really apply now. Play again. Yeah, so I already had the, already had it set up, but I don't know why I moved away from it. We saw a fat toad on our driveway. Ooh. Did Donya want to play with the toad? Okay, let's close that up. We'll cheat, we'll tick our nuking button. Not really, but Lisa still moved it to a place with more grass and plants, yeah. Got to save the toad. Oh, picture of the toad. Okay, this is a moment of truth. Will it work? Saved him in my hands, wore plastic gloves. Bro did not want to be saved. But anyway, well done, Lisa. Okay, so we go play again. Got the next progression. Nice. Ah. Play again did not reset this value here, so we still need to do some resetting of values. And he didn't reset this value either, because these values are held globally. When do you make a new script? Like, is it per object or per function? Make a new script. So depending on the type of object, I have a script that I do for the object. But then the values per level I have as a global thing at the moment. I suppose technically I should have it as an object on each level, and it kind of could really have it set into here, to be honest. So cinematic, yes. I mean, like in general. So I make a script per object type. So my kind of understanding of codings come from object-oriented programming standards, where you treat every kind of class as its own object before even getting to game design. Is that, well, you think of an object, so per class, yeah. So I think, okay, for a tree, I treat the tree as a class. So there'll be a tree class, and everything that's to do with the tree will be in the class. And rather than putting everything to do with interacting, well, I suppose if it's anything to do with a tree, interacting with a tree, put it in the tree class. But there's so many things that have got muddied with this, where it's kind of, I put kind of, I don't know, I've tried to keep it together, where if it's a UI control, I try to put all the things to do with the UI controls into one class. So you're just basically handling it there. But then I didn't really plan it out. None of this game's really been planned out. It's just kind of like, I need a function. Where's the best place to put the function? Well, it's to do with this, I'll put it with that. So if I was building this from scratch, I would have definitely rebuilt this differently. I would have done so many different things. But yeah, typically per class. Like, that's what I do. My day-to-day job, I always do stuff by class. I like the OOP. Most coder writer is OOP, but I don't follow the standards because I'm lazy, which doesn't end up well. Yeah, lazy coding is quick and it does the job, but then it does get very messy. And this game has been very messy in the past. I'm still trying to tidy it up. Like this this game values object down here. This effectively is a standalone class because it's a scriptable object. And to my understanding, scriptable objects are effectively like just classes by they are themselves. They're not actually attached to anything. So I thought, okay, I'll have a game value class. And I'll just kind of write to that. And that class will hold all the different the values that will be used in the game. But those values get reset per level. So it almost needs to create one of these per level. So it's, rather than being a scriptable object, this should really just be a script. And then the object should sit in the actual level. And I kind of call that object. Is what I probably should change this to. But there's so many parts of the game refer to this, it becomes easy and lazy to have it as a scriptable object and just call it from anywhere. Like, okay, I need to use this, I'll just call it. Can you attach a script to each level? I should really do that, yeah. I should have these values. These values should really just be an object on the level. I mean, the scene, yeah. So yeah, so if you have a standard, if I wanted a script to only be called unique within the scene, I'd have to have an object, like an empty object, and attach that script there, and then when you load a new scene, you'd have to have the same object again. Like a level class that has reset function which zeros all the values. I suppose, or you mean like, okay, yeah. Typically, it was still, to my knowledge, because I don't think you can attach anything to the actual scene itself. But if you have an object within the scene, like what I could do to make life easier, because I've got this game progress manager script, and that refers to this game value object. On enable event for this script, I could reset the values here. So if I go into edit script, so we've got start. So I could even put it in the start here. So on start of this, it will then find out what the file path is to save the game stuff. So I could actually just reset the values here. That's done. Godot allows me to attach scripts to scenes themselves. I like Godot, yeah. I think the way that Unity was built is that it's purely relied on objects, and then Godot's come along and go, oh, I can see a thing that Unity's not doing. But yeah, you just kind of put a, like, typically, if you want it to just be on that level, you could attach it to the camera. Like, each level has a camera. So typically you attach the script to the camera, and then it's on each level then. But yeah, you have to kind of have something on this left hand side, because the scene itself is just a holder. It's just kind of the project, I suppose, in some way. Like, you can't really attach it to a project, but the project can have things inside it. So I think that's where they've gone down that route of, okay, the project can hold things, but in itself the project does not have things, it only has properties. But yeah, you're given the idea though. So actually within this script, I can actually do the reset here. Unity is an entity component system, that's why, yeah. So it's kind of very much built around that structure. So what I should do then, game values. So I should just call that really. There is node-based system, that's why I can attach scripts to everything. Ah. I can see that being messy though. But then you have more control. That's kind of the trade-off, isn't it? The more control you have, the more messy it can be. Whereas yeah, Unity has to have that structure. But yeah, it depends where you put your trade-offs of structure and kind of keeping things together. Yeah, it can super messy, not careful, yeah. So it's with great power comes great responsibility. So what we should do is, I've lost it, Game Progress Manager. So upon starting, it should go gv.reset game values. And that actually fixes that issue. Cool. Game values, yes. Yeah, super clean if you know what you're doing. Oh yeah, that's where kind of discipline and coding standards and what's the word yeah, there's a term they call it. But that's making sure your code is basically clean. And it's very like all this stuff I can write very messy, but I'm trying to write this in such a way and it's easy to come back to. But that's only because I've had to go back and rewrite some of this after knowing what I wanted to do. If you don't know what you want to do, it can get very messy as well. But then that's kind of most languages, I suppose. We save that. And we'll do a test. And we go to castle. Like this whole kind of castle thing here, I would have certainly made a lot better. But I'll try to change it to have it some kind of hierarchy. Ah, okay. Frame rate is tanking quite a bit. Code is more readable than it's code is readable more often than it's written. That's why you want to keep your code clean and readable. Yeah. It's read more than it's written, yeah. You tend to reread stuff. Right, let's go play again, see how this works. Okay. Try again with this one. Castle holder. I'll hit the nuke button. Yeah, I think the values weren't reset for my last test. Okay, something's not happy there. It crashed? No, it hasn't crashed. Let's manually update these values for now. Make sure everything is 0. Change that. So that's all 0 there. Because that's what it should be given perfect conditions. Ah, we have a problem now, don't we? Because it's not the first. It's because the event's happening. Okay. So this needs to be before start. So it needs to be on enable, doesn't it? So on enable, I know happens before start. That's probably what we need to do. Or awake. I'm going to continue my AI experience and update you in real time. Okie dokie. this is the thing as well, like if you want game objects to persist between scenes, then, because at the moment the way I've built this is that each scene is unique in a sense that there's no persistence, but then certain things you might want to persist between different scenes. So void on enable. Do that. So hopefully that's better if we do it on enable. See if there's any errors in the code. Yeah, we're aware that's not being used anymore, but we'll delete that once we're happy. That's what people normally call a singleton, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And there's two camps I've seen online: people that hate singletons and people that praise singletons. I like that, like they are loaded in the background, so every change persists. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like people violently against them for. But I can see that singletons being useful, but something that is useful is things like audio. Like if you have music playing and you want it to persist onto the next level without stopping and starting again, then you'd make the audio a singleton. And then you won't get like a stutter. It'll just naturally go through. It wasn't planned, but I'm happy how it turned out. Just realised it's Good Friday and the album release has crucified Jesus on it. Nice. Personally can't live without singletons. I don't understand people going against it. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen people going, oh, there's better ways of doing it. Do it this way. And you go, no, singletons have their purpose. But again, because I come from a coding background where you don't destroy anything, you have to purposely unload it. And so typically the way I write a lot of functions is that if it's an object that isn't needed, I typically destroy it after its use. So I can guarantee I'm not using any space up. There's a few bits of my code which I don't do that, and I probably need to go back through and change it. But typically it's on the coder to destroy the objects, whereas in Unity destruction happens because the scene's unloaded. So you then have to kind of say that you want to go against the destruction and keep it persisted. Okay, the game's running. Let's okay. So we finished the level in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, allegedly. So these two values here are equal. We hit play again, so that should go to 0. That should go to 0 and then get re-changed back to 330. Oh, I think we might have cracked it. Pun intended. Okay, let's nuke it again, just to be certain. That would be quite funny if I actually coded in a nuke, wouldn't it? At least in my mind, if I have a hidden developer button where mushroom cloud goes destruction. Aha, so it's failed this time. Why has it failed this time? Because game values are fine now. So something's gone to default here because that's gone 1111. And the game's hanging. So level complete, game not saved, marking game as saved and updating level progress. Getting medal index 3, which is gold. Level complete status changed, updating UI, level complete true. But it's stuck. It's not Crash Unity, which is a change. I normally set variables to none to delete objects when I code general Python apps. Yeah, typically Python's quite good for that. You just set it to none and it's okay, it doesn't have anything anymore. This can only mean one thing. I found a slowly rising upward lift that goes over a large cinematic area. Yeah, means one thing. There's usually visual cues that something's big's going to happen. But yeah, Python's good for clearing stuff. Like in C# or Visual Basic. You have to be object.destroy to actually just completely clean it. So you could set it to null, but not all object types can be set to null. But what I do like with Python is that you can just set any type of variable to nothing. On none. Just he's back. Welcome back, Lisa. No, it doesn't exist in Python. No, it doesn't actually. Good point. I sell emotes. I'm working on scam. Please give social security number. Yeah, please read out your credit card details to see if you've won an emote. Yes. Oh no, you didn't win this time. Do you have any other credit cards you can give me the number of? Since you got the last two releases I did for free, you're going to pay more for the next one. Yeah. Lisa wants your credit card details to buy soup. Need a spicy soup. If it's split with Colt, you buy, I won't give him any share. Yes, I want spicy soup. How does split EP work then? I suppose it goes to the person who its page is hosted on, I suppose. And then it's up to that person to split it. I actually have soup tomorrow. Nice. What kind of soup? Go back to watching RuPaul Dog Race. Okay, Dog Race? Drag Race. RuPaul's Dog Race could be interesting, wouldn't it? Oh no, it's zooming out too. Oh. Shit's about to go down. Tomato soup. I like tomato soup. Is it a homemade tomato soup or is it like a tin? Nick's only eats Heinz tomato soup. Can't get Nick's to eat any other type of soup. Basically, if I upload all the money, it goes to me. If you upload, all money goes to you. Program doesn't see difference. Oh, that's fair. MH is playing MIO, Memories in Orbit. Seems a very cool game. Very cool, like painted art style. If we be nice, be so nice to split it later, or whether it's up to us. That's cool. Yeah, I suppose that goes for anything really. Like if I were to make a game and I have a deal with other creators on making the game, and I post it as me as the creator of the game, then it's up to other people that worked on it to rely on me to pay them their share. He died. Oh no, never heard of it. It's cool. Yeah, never heard of it until MH mentioned it. But yeah, MIO. Very cool graphics. Always just do like the following. I upload to my Bandcamp, other band uploads to their Bandcamp, and wherever someone buys, that's for that person. That's fair. Like, you would point someone to your Bandcamp and say, well, if you want to support me, buy it from mine. If you want to support them, buy it from them. Like, let's take the last split with Dude from Finland. If you buy my split, it means you want to support me, my friend. If a friend of mine buys it, you want to support him. Yeah. Yeah, that seems fair. Because otherwise, you are very much reliant on. It depends how much trust you have. Because you'd say, well, I want you to show me like your Bandcamp page to show how much you've earned, and to guarantee I'm getting my fair split. Like, in all honesty, we're talking €1 to €5 donations from time to time. Hassle to split, yeah. Shit did go down though. It was a cool looking fight. Nice. Yeah, that's one thing I'm thinking about being a solo developer, is that I don't have to worry about splits. But my next project I would like to work on with people. Like me still being like the main contributor to the project. But like kind of bringing in people to help. But it depends what kind of deal I work with those people, whether it's a one-off kind of is to help me out, or whether it's okay, give a percentage, or I could pay them up front and go, okay, thank you for your time, I'll give you some compensation now. But yeah, Roblox has an auto split feature where you add people to get part of the revenue from the game. That's cool. So of all the bad things I've heard about Roblox generally, it's cool they're actually giving features like that. I like to split my revenue 30-70. It's 30-70. 30 goes to me, 70 goes to me. So far, I've earned nothing. Yeah, and that's quite a hard thing as well. If you Roblox takes 30% cut on every transaction. Wow. Yeah, I suppose they're providing the platform and all the tools to do it. Like the whole kind of thing with Unity, that they wanted to take a cut. And people are like, no, that's not going to happen. But I know once you've made like several grand on your game, then they want to cut them. Always just do donors though. Never require money to buy any of my games. That's fair. Bandcamp takes 10%, but not on Bandcamp Friday, which is not this Friday. I personally understand, yeah. Yeah, that's why I try and wishlist everything I want on Bandcamp and then buy it all on Bandcamp Friday. Unless it's something I really want to support there, and then they go, oh, okay, I'll buy it now because I want to support that person. 1st of May. Ooh, okay, got a month. But it's cool that Bandcamp actually does Bandcamp Friday. Go, well, hey, all the creators get everything today. Bandcamp Friday or not doesn't matter for you as a fan. Only how much you get. Oh yeah. Like the people buying it doesn't miss out, but it depends how much as a fan you want to support the people making it. Especially when you know about it, you go, well, I can choose to buy it any time, knowing that 10% of what I've paid doesn't actually go to the artist, or go, actually, no, I want to buy more on Bandcamp Friday, knowing that 10% that's normally cut is going to them. It's so dumb for game engines to want royalties. I understand that they have to pay people on the platform you host your game page on and handle transactions or take a cut. Yeah. Like, you put a game on Steam, that's like £100–200. And I know that's all, you kind of get that back. But again, Steam has hosting costs. That they have costs to run things. And yet Unity have costs, but then Unity has revenue coming in. I understand if you're making thousands and thousands on your game, the engine's going, hey, well, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be making thousands. We would like to have some of that, please. If you're not making thousands, that certainly can't get away with that. I think one engine is Game Maker. I know you can use it for free and publish for free, but you can't. You can only publish to where they want you to publish it and sell it through their platform. Whereas, like, if I make a game on Unity, I can put it anywhere I want and it's completely free. It's just I only have to pay where the hosting is. Like, if I host it on my own means, then I'm only paying for that hosting. If I pay it through Steam, I have to pay for the Steam. But yeah, so Unity is completely free to use and there's constant updates, and it's the same for things like Godot. And Godot is open source as well, is it? Is it still open source? And even things like Blender. Blender's very powerful, considering it's kind of free to use. But if it wasn't for these applications, creative people wouldn't have the means to actually make stuff, which is the real kick in the teeth for like Adobe making all of their applications subscription based. Like, if you want to use Photoshop, you have to pay us every month now, or you can't use your own creations. Good thing about Godot, since it's open source and it's run by a non-profit, don't care about royalties. Blender's open source too. Yeah, I've seen some different forks for Blender, and sort of different tweaks and specializations, which is cool. That's why I switched away from Adobe to Affinity. Yeah, that Adobe really shot themselves when they tried to milk creators. Adobe forced me to pay for like 30 programs I didn't want anyway. Yeah, like, you want the whole kind of Creative Cloud suite. You go, no, I just want Photoshop. And that's why I've got an old copy of Photoshop still. I don't get all the extra compatibility. Try Affinity, but since it's I'm on Linux, can't run it. But then Linux has their own kind of applications, don't they? They got their own kind of suites. Like, all the extra applications that are been made, like, I've not booted up for a while, but I've found so many apps. So, oh, this is kind of the equivalent of that. So use GIMP. Yes, I use GIMP at work actually. It's a little bit confusing because I'm used to Photoshop, but work isn't giving me a license for Photoshop. We did have a license for Photoshop, but we've lost it. I don't know where it's gone. Well, we had a license for Photoshop and Illustrator for our marketing team, and then we got rid of our marketing team. Pixel art and use LibreSprite. Ooh, I've heard LibreSprite's good actually. I might have even tried to download it at one stage. Yeah, there's so many good tools out there which are either open source or just free. And the people that maintain them are just kind of saints, really. It's basically Sprite. I've tried Sprite. But pixel art generally I find a little bit more tedious because I'm not a great artist. But I've tried it. I thought, okay, if I wanted to make a pixel art based stuff, I know where the tools are. Yeah. I couldn't tell you what the spelling was anyway. But I know what you're on about. I do recall like a, I think it was like a YouTube video I watched some time ago, like, where I was explaining what tools are available to indie game devs that are basically free or low cost, rather than paying these extortionate pricing for things when you're not going to make a lot of money being an indie dev. Okay, so that seems happy with one reset. It doesn't like the second reset. What's going on? It's supposed to be just loading. Like nothing changes between each load. It's just loading up the same level again, but seemingly when I run it first time versus when I run it the second time, something's missing. But it's not actually frozen, so I can't. Well, the game's frozen, it stopped doing stuff, but is it stuck in a loop somewhere? Do you see the cracks are still there? Yeah. But when you replay the level, when you hit play again, it obviously it reloads the scene. But because it's reloaded the scene, as soon as you crack, is that reset? Yeah, so this is the reset playthrough. If I stop again, so we play the level first time. So first time the level loads up, we can see we've only hit 9 squares. There's 330 squares to hit. That's displayed with the UI. Fair enough. We hit the nuke to simulate all the squares being hit. At that point, those two values are compared, triggers off the event. Now, those events that happen here should get reset when the scene loads up anyway. So if I hit play again, it now loads level 3 scene again. That's now 0, that's 330. It's as if we're just playing for the first time. Unless there's some value somewhere that, even though I've loaded the scene again, it's not. But it shouldn't make any difference here, because these are the global values for just the game in general, not the level. So we've got music volume, we've got sound volume, hints, and these don't matter here really. Well, at least I don't think they matter. So 23 seconds is how long it took us to complete it last time. If this number becomes less than 23, it overwrites. If it's more than 23, it leaves 23. Basically allowing you to replay the level until you get a faster time. We got a gold medal last time. If that was a silver medal and we get a gold, it will overwrite it with the gold. If it's silver or less, it doesn't overwrite it. So these values only change if the values are better than what's there, unless it's getting stuck on that process. So this is the scene reloaded. Now if we nuke it again, Let's go to the left, go to the right. We could play through just hitting these as normal, but then nuking it doesn't do anything that the player wouldn't do naturally. But see the time? It's lost the time completely. So even though the time in the value up here is 116 seconds, which is 2 minutes 46 56, 2 minutes 56. It's displaying the default value up here. It's not taking that value and putting it here. It's showing the gold, but it's not firing off the event to say, like, destroy the castle. So whether the event, there's something happening on the events now. I have to follow it through, I suppose, and see. So it recognises levels being completed down here. We're writing to the console to say, yep, level's complete. It's recognising that it's a gold medal. It recognised that, yeah, the level was complete, we've not saved it. So it's going to save it to the file. Ah, what's this? Object type Unity game object has been destroyed, but you're still trying to access it. Your script should either check to see if it's null or should not destroy it. On hit evokes it. Oh, okay. Interesting. So why can't it invoke the on hit event? On hit. Just ran a cycle of AI experiment, and it went into the train station to find where the mayor is. He's already been in a train station before. He went to the mayor's house. Okay. Maybe it's been systematic, I suppose. Okay, well, unless they were looking for the mayor first, went to the train station, then the mayor's house, and then back to the train station. So that's typically how I try to look for my keys. I go back to where I've already looked. Okay, it's still not here. Got another progression item. Ooh. Let's go with that. We'll clean up that one. So on hit evoke, it's supposed to be add a square hit. Castle hit, yes, no, false. Set hit. So yeah, if it's not been hit, set it to hit. It just disregarded its object set by itself, and now it's looking for food. Yeah, sounds like me as well. I can't find it. What's in the fridge? It's sounding more and more human. Let's do a debug. Log square has been hit. In the back. So we'll capture those. Save. Rebuild solution. Just oh, hungry junkie. Yes. Always. We'll reload that. We're looking at the time. 2.5 hours. Looking good on the stream times. So all the listeners have been added for the wings. It's interesting that it adds, like, it fires the events before the game's even actually loaded up. It's weird. So, got all the listeners in there. Let's go to there. Like that. So it's gone through all the whole process. Square's been hit on event hit evoked. Square's been hit on there. That's all been hit there. Let's clear that. Do that. And same again. Goes through the whole process of invoking the hits. Go to center. So then hides all those things because the castle's no longer visible. Does it actually stop doing that now? Clear all that. Cool, okay. We hit play again. Time has been started again. I'll clear that, keep it up to date. Castle holder, castle grids. Nuke that one, that's fine. Nuke that one, that's fine. Right, this is where it goes wrong. So it's got stuck. So it's going through all the squares, going hit, 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 hit. And then it goes level complete, invoking on level complete event. Which is here. So it's added the square hit. It's then going, okay, invoking that, so on level complete invoke. So it must have been able to get all the hit squares invoked for it to get as far as running this. So it's running that anyway. But then it fires back to here, which is not where the issue is, I don't think. I don't think the issue is here. Because invoking this actually invoking that actually invokes this. So that that event fires off, it runs this, which sends us a check, and then invokes this. So on level complete event goes through all of this, which it did the first time. I've already got things on here, haven't I? So yeah, saving collider. So it doesn't actually get as far as running those. Is it not... Let's stop that there. Is it not... I've also... There you go. So on enable, is it not firing this off? Let's put like a little debug into here. I wonder if this is not being called again. Still confusing that happens. My little experiment, I have to do a lot of interpretation prediction to actually carry out some of the AI's actions, since it hallucinates some moves. Ooh. And hallucinating AI doesn't sound very safe. But I suppose, yeah, if it's not actually picking up the right values from its observation, I suppose, yeah, you have to kind of intervene to go, no, that's not the correct information. Right, so this is happening here. We do our usual thing, we hit that. Hit that. Hit that. That's happening. Wait for that to finish and then go clear. And now what we should see is it resetting up those events. Well, not hallucinations fully, but instead it doesn't understand its world and how to move in certain spots. Ah, okay. Ah, we might have found our bug. The only thing it's telling me it's done is start the timer. It's not, it hasn't reset up the events for this instance of the scene. So our problem is this on enable only gets fired for the first time the scene is loaded. If we reload the scene, it does not fire that, because game values is already, because it's a scriptable object, it's enabled upon the first time. Yeah, it's enabled the first time the game loads, not the first time the level loads. So this is not actually useful between levels, only useful for the start of the game. So what we really need, the game progress manager? No, it's the we need something on the actual scene itself, which is something on the scene itself, progress manager. So it needs to be on enable here. So this needs to run it, because this is enabled on the actual scene, whereas this is enabled on the start of the game. So reset values is only fine there. It needs to really do all of this. I do not remember sending an A. Weird. I think it's a ghost in the machine. So I need to call these. These are private. Let's make them public. 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 Oh, it doesn't matter because we're not doing that one anyway. So we go back to here. Go game values. We'll run that there. Super withdrawal symptoms. Rare case of SWS. Ghost wants to tell you something important. Yeah, I definitely have updated my Ouija board plugin for Mix It Up Bot. Right, so we'll save this. Now in theory, because it should now be rerunning that on startup. Give us another test now. I'll wrap the stream up soon. Because it's getting near a 3-hour stream, which is quite long for me. Ghost wants to tell you to give credit cards information for emotes. It goes to 6 here. It reminds me of my favourite joke I've heard about dyslexia. I'm dyslexic myself, so I can find this funny as well. Have you heard of the dyslexic agnostic insomniac? Dyslexic agnostic insomniac. He stays awake at night, wondering if there really is a dog. These to stop feeding your ghost soup. He wants the credit cards info for soup. Okay, so moments of truth. Hit play again. Castle Wings. Timer started. That's fine, yeah, because we didn't put a check in there. Don't think it's healthy. No. The ghost soup is not healthy for the ghost. It's too spicy. And for your information, I will never forget about this joke. I will drag it to death and back. I like a joke. Aha! I think we've cracked it. So much so the building's falling down. Should we go for a third play again? Still lots of things I can do to improve the general running of this. Did we crack the bug or the castle? Both. Or the joke. Or the smile. We cracked the bug, which in turn cracked the castle, which then cracked the joke, And we all cracked a smile. Okay, and play again. Cool. Test successful. It is now reloads. Reloads the scene. Play again button works. Ghost like soup. I'm gonna give soup. That's a fair comment. Must appease the ghost. We spent pretty much the entire stream trying to work out if something needs to be set as an event and how to get it to actually fire off and then get the level to restart. But that's one thing on the list. No, you is no give soup to ghost. Ghost will burn. Ghost will burn very pleased. Very much. So this will work fine because it enables, it does all the things. Although if it's doing it from that, we don't actually need to run this. We could just take this whole thing out. Because this thing will actually kick off on that instead. I found what I think is the last big thing before the end game. The only problem is they hate me and I kind of need to sacrifice them. Oh. That's quite a dilemma. But I'm happy with all these event things working. I actually understand events a lot better now. And I feel they're a little bit overrated in places, but at the same time have their use. Which is like a lot of different code structures. But it's another tool I can use now. It's the controls. I think I've fixed the controls between levels now. Let's go back to your feedback in the don't play all 3 levels, stops on level 2, controls broke, we fixed that. A&D works on level 1 but not on 2. Yeah, that's okay. Spacebar shoots. Main menu title looks like a button, so yeah, we need to change the graphics to main menu. Can't continue level 2 after going to main menu, so we need to check the level saving. I don't think it actually loads the level file properly. Also, I think the options menu should pause. Yeah, we need to put a pause in there. And the escape key needs to open it up. Crate and barrel are unlocked. Yeah, I fixed that. Got to unlock a full screen option. Yeah, so graphics options, stopping the timer, and yeah, so it's not too much really. Well, I think I've got to go now. Alarm junkie. Yes, my alarms tell me to actually stop doing what I'm doing and sleep. So on that note, I'm going to switch over to the main camera. We make progress today, and we've learned some things. Like not over complicate stuff. Everyone deserves soup, even ghosts. Soup is good. I hope you enjoy your tomato soup. Yeah, I'm going to wrap the stream up here because yeah, we've been streaming for nearly 3 hours, and it is 11 PM UK time. We will. Awesome. Good to hear. Please help buy soup. Give credit cards. Goodbye. Soup rights activists. Have a good weekend, you two. Yeah, hope everyone has a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening, wherever you are. Have a good rest. We'll be back on Monday doing some Trine 4. And we've already got Trine 5 ready to go later after we've fixed all that. Fixed it, played it all. Good night. I enjoyed the stream. Glad to have you here, Art. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Thank you everyone who stopped by. We've been chatting or just been lurking. I see some awesome lurkers on the list. You're all cool. You don't have to chat just to be awesome. Just being here I appreciate you. But see you Monday. Good night all. Have a good rest now. See you then. Good night.